Well, I guess you could say the trailers were better than the movie.
Those were up, and they did.
We're smart, and my...
He told me enough.
No, I.
Here's Chuck.
Hey everyone, it's Don G. Corleone here, and I'm here with a brand new movie review. And this movie review is going to be for the very first film to come out in 2023. It's going to be a January released horror film. And it's going to be none other than a film that the trailers got me a little excited for. And from what I'm seeing, it seems like a better remake of Child's Play. And that is, of course, this weekend's M3GAN, or M3GAN, as it's pronounced in the title. Yeah, so what's this film about? Well, when Gemma suddenly becomes the caretaker of her orphaned 8-year-old niece, Katie, Gemma's unsure and unprepared to be a parent. Under intense pressure at work, Gemma decides to pair her M3GAN prototype with Katie in an attempt to resolve both problems, a decision that eventually has unimaginable consequences. How was the film made? Well, in July 2018, Hollywood Reporter announced that production was underway for a techno-horror film titled M3GAN, to be produced by James Wan and Jason Blum. Gerald Johnston was confirmed to direct, while Attila Cooper wrote the screenplay and story with Wan. The idea of the film began with Wan's Atomic Monster Productions was brainstorming story ideas and chose one about a killer doll. Although Wan's 2014 Annabelle is about a killer doll, he said that the concept was about embracing technology too much or relying too much on it. What happens when technology runs amok? There'd be a commentary on the world they live today and felt relevant. Blum stated the film would have black comedy elements, which is one reason Johnston was chosen to direct. They said they needed someone who could do thrills and set pieces and also have a cheeky approach. Shooting was then scheduled to begin in late 2018. On a budget of $12 million, principal photography began in early July 2021, taking place in Los Angeles, California, and Auckland, New Zealand. The suburbs of Auckland were utilized to tend the film a Denver, Colorado type feel. Filming was completed the following month. By mid-August, right before a COVID-19 lockdown occurred in New Zealand, the film underwent reshoots and post-production in order to secure a PG-13 rating from the Motion Picture Association after the original cut was deemed too violent. That had me a little worried. The PG-13 had me worried. Yeah, and Amy Donnell physically portrays M3GAN, while Jenna Davis provides the voice. Then Donnell received movement coaching from Jed Brophy and Luke Hawker. And after the film was shot and marketed, M3GAN had its world premiere in Los Angeles, California, December 7, 2022, and was actually released in the United States on January 6, 2023 by Universal Pictures this weekend. And the film received largely positive reviews from critics who praised its campy blend of humor and horror, as well as cast performances. As for my reaction, I remember being hyped for this film when I saw the trailers. I was hoping this would be a better version of the Child's Play remake that I hated. However, I found out the movie would be rated PG-13 instead of R, and I got very worried. I still went and saw the film anyways, and well, it's not terrible, but it's not as good as the trailers made it look. First off, the opening sequence firmly sets a tone, but the opening sequence was really cringy. Basically, it starts off with this ad for these little Furbies knockoff that can do anything a pet can do. One of the things it even shows them doing is pooping and farting. Yeah, we got to start a horror movie with a fart and poop joke. Yeah, it's like you give it food and it poops. And then we cut to it. Turns out Katie's actually watching the ad on her iPad, and she also has one of the Furby knockoffs, and we see it fart, and we can hear it farting repeatedly, several times. Not a good way to start a horror movie with a fart joke. No. That was kind of stupid. And then it turns out it's actually a family of three. It's Katie and her parents drive first into a major snowstorm. And that's how the movie starts. As the audience tries to absorb this, the wife berates the husband for lying to a policeman about the car being 4WD when it really isn't. Still following? Then, the blizzard completely envelops the car with a whiteout. The wife demands the husband stop right where he is, in the middle of the road, so they can resolve their argument. And then seconds later, an oncoming truck hits them, and boom! The young girl's now an orphan, and the parents are dead. Starting off the movie. It is interesting how they present us with a scoop of their history. Like we are increasingly relying on technology. Parents leave the education of their children to technological means since they prioritize their activities. As is the case of Gemma, who has intense pressure on the work. On the tape, M3GAN listens, watches, and learns that she becomes a friend, teacher, playmate, and protector. To Katie, the girl she's bonded with, and we're not too far from M3GAN even existing, which is unsettling. Here we have a combination of concepts such as Terminator and Chucky, and it is inevitable to think about those tapes. M3GAN was asked to take care of Katie physically and emotionally, but how far will he go? Will he go so that no one ever hurts Katie? On the other hand, the story is predictable almost from the beginning. When Gemma shows Katie one of her university projects, we will practically know how the movie will end. We even have time jumps that are taken for granted, without saying that days, weeks, or months have passed. But let's get on with the good qualities first. First off, the film was well constructed, somewhat reminiscent of the Chucky doll, and shows an alternate future where advances in technology can indeed lead to this kind of robot toy, which, contrary to its main purpose, which would seek to break away from the grip of its human creator and become independent. And I was obsessed with the way the doll was moving her body throughout the whole thing. She's the movie. She's why it's scary sometimes, why it's funny. Too, like the singing sequences were peak camp, and some of the things she says too, like when she was singing Titanium, when M3GAN was singing Titanium by CM1 scene, the whole audience wouldn't stop laughing non-stop. On the acting part, nothing too extraordinary, but the child actress was the best performance of the movie. The screenplay does a good job of balancing its campy thrills with several surprisingly heartfelt scenes, exploring the fact that genuine human connections are necessary for emotional growth and overcoming trauma. Katie and Gemma are simply written, and effectively written characters who give the film just enough heart to make us care about consequences when the film's horror sequences come around. The payoffs are enjoyably nasty, though. The android makes a point of torturing and murdering people in imaginative, sadistic ways, and the contrast between its girlish look and its homicidal tendencies is good for a few delightful, tense, and gory sequences. A satirical in that opening advert resurfaces here and there too. Though rated PG-13, a script from Akila Cooper, with a story from James Wan is steeped in adulthood fears, being a bad parent, being trapped with a kid he didn't want, the struggle of achieving a work-life balance, and the fear of success which ponders what horror dreams fulfilled night week. And Alza Williams, who made a remark on horror in Jordan Peele's Get Out, solidly grounds the human drama with the scary sci-fi premise of a killer doll. With an identity defined by her ambition at work, Gemma struggles with her grief-stricken niece's needs for attention, and the kid's failure to understand the difference between toys and collectibles. Anxieties about parenthood versus selfhood are radiant, making the audience a skin crawl in recognition. This provides a perfect setup for M3GAN to step in like a godsend, assuming the role shoulder to cry on, bedtime storyteller, guide, mentor. She's a gift, and a DIY one working with millennial hustle and cultural pride into the mix of complicated emotions. Much of the humor in M3GAN feels chaotically queer in the best way possible. A small wonder where the heart of Titanium delivers shitty punchlines with the cold sharpness of an ice pick. Perhaps with Jenna Davis, whose vocal performance in M3GAN plays as if you're talking Barbie, is slowly growing to despise you. M3GAN is a monster with electrifying charisma, seeming to channel the frost queen thrills of Bette Davis and Joan Crawford without the campy theatrics. Now, when it comes to the bad qualities, because this movie was not as good as the trailers made it out to look. And yes, when you think about it too much, a lot of it doesn't really make sense. Like, why are all the adults dumb or willfully ignorant when it comes to implementing Al into their prototype? Why do they have the slightest foresight or precautions in store if something goes wrong? Why does a puppet for kids pose the strength of a Terminator? And if said robot is so dangerous, why not disconnect the brain chip entirely from the body when doing any fail-safe tests? Like, the beginning was slow until the time they introduced the main character, Gemma, so yeah. M3GAN is kind of a big warning, again, to artificial intelligence, and we don't have full control on these kind of things. Even here, it's pretty exaggerated for the purpose of the movie. So I found the movie pretty interesting anyway. I also love the part where Gemma is with her colleague, and I found those parts more into the comedy side, and that's kind of a good thing. Like for Megan's opening scene establishing a woefully generic dead parent setup, after the stupid poop and fart joke with the toys, I knew that in terms of story, the film was going to offer just about zero surprises, and I was right. There's not anything groundbreaking or unpredictable here, and its technology themes have been beaten more than any dead horse could ever dream of. And finally, yeah, once again, the fact they made it PG-13, it was obvious the movie got censored, unjustifiable cuts in the middle of scenes, like other scenes were supposed to be scary or gory, but they weren't. Now, although the story has already been told many times before, some conscious robot who's gone rogue, like in the Child's Play remake, they had the chance to introduce something new using AI technology and a digitalized life people are now living, all in this linked to children's toys. On the drama side, there were some decent storylines but not fully discovered. Like, I really hope once a Blu-ray hits, we get an unrated version that features the gore, because this movie would have worked better with an R rating, not a PG-13 rating. Like, I think the director has rumored there's going to be an R-rated cut when the movie hits streaming, so there is that. At least. So hopefully that happens. It did have its up and downs, but don't expect something like the trailers made it look. So in the end, M3GAN is not bad for a January released horror film to start off the year of 2023, but it's no masterpiece either. But I won't be surprised if it ends up being a hit on its opening weekend and gets a franchise, since January horror films do make a lot of money, aka the dump month for horror films. Those are the only January release stuff that even makes money. The only other January stuff that makes money is the Christmas release films that are still in theaters. But yeah. Anyways, guys, I have nothing else to say. That's pretty much it for my review of M3GAN. If you're wondering how I'm going to rank M3GAN, here's how I'm going to rank this movie.
So overall, if you want a decent horror flick to start off 2023, then I would easily wait for this to hit streaming instead, because it's not as good as it could have been. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank M3GAN, I'm going to give M3GAN a 6.5 out of 10.
There we go. That wraps up my review for M3GAN. And I gotta say, not a bad start to the year so far. This week I've been going on the Peloton bike I have at this place, trying to get back into shape after eating so much Christmas junk. A little more. Gonna do some warm-up exercises. Gonna try to go back to the gym at some point this month, for sure. As well, when I get back to the other place you're usually familiar with, then I'll go back to the gym. But yeah, this week I've been trying to kind of get back into shape. After all the fall and winter junk I've been eating. It's time to get back into normal self now that the holidays and fun stuff's over. Until then, guys, that'll be it for this review. Thank you all for watching. And if you like this and want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone.